Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. Enemies of the state, governors, mayor's offices, DAs, FBI heads, CIA heads, etc. We'll soon see military tribunals. All right, this is not just speculation. This is deductive reasoning, and obviously we're moving in that direction very quickly. A lot of people being revealed. We're going to talk about that. So very, very amazing times. And as we move forward, we're going to see more of this start to transpire. Now, these governors, you look at all these different governors in the different states, especially the ones that are, being, resistant to having their criminal activities shut down by President Trump and ICE and military very secretive deployments, I believe. We're going to see this start to accelerate on a very fast pace. Now, the people that are in charge of those positions, now President Trump has already threatened to a certain extent Pritzker. Now he said other things about other people and so forth, and we're going to talk about that as well. Well, all of these governors, not all of them, but many of these governors and these mayors are part of a criminal activity. They're enemies of the state, right? So if there is enemies of the state, then military tribunals can be used. So it's going to be proven, and I believe that the American people are going to beg for this to happen, all right? We've seen a lot of these cities and so forth that, through the social media and, of course, the mainstream media and so forth, and then, of course, these talking heads, Pritzker and Newsom and Pelosi and Adam Schiff and all these others that are all criminals, enemies of the state, that eventually they will be taken away. And once that level is taken away, then it will go to the next level, the billionaire, pushing this agenda, pushing these people into office to basically take over America. And really, they have taken over America. To all extents and purposes. We have just been seeing, just this criminal activity over these last several decades. And a lot of people just gotten used to it and thought that the criminal activity was good for us, right? So that's being disclosed. That's being reversed. And like I said, people that voted for Trump that want him to take action. And then a lot of the people that didn't vote for Trump are starting to flip, and they're going to start to, really demand, beg, whatever, for Trump and team to basically take down these criminals. So yeah, there's many that are involved, and we're going to look at. We're just going to go through, lawyers, and judges and so forth. We're going to look at some of that right now. So in Chicago, of course, they're doing really good work there. They're trying to clean the place up, take down the criminal empire, but there's going to be resistance.
The president's immigration crackdown taking center stage in a Chicago courtroom. A federal judge now demanding that Customs and Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino will meet with her every day to report immigration activities there in the Windy City. That's as tensions grow over the use of tear gas by federal agents carrying out immigration enforcement in the area. Justice Department reporter Luke Barr joins me now. So Luke, daily in-person meetings with a federal judge. Break down this ruling for us.
So this is obviously delaying tactics, and they want to have information. So this judge is obviously part of the criminal activities. She wants to know what they're doing so she can report back to her puppet controllers, so they can, ambush them or stop them out or move their people around so they don't get taken down. This is what this is about, right? So this criminal judge needs to be part of a military tribunal.
Oh, Kira, this is certainly something that the judge wants oversight on. Commander Greg Bovino, who's in charge of those operations in Los Angeles, in Portland, and of course in Chicago, is going to be required.
So all three of the areas right now There's no resistance in Washington, D.C. There's no resistance in Memphis, Tennessee, but there is resistance, obviously, in L.A., Portland, and Chicago. So I remember being in combat zones like this too, guys. And, there's the CIA wanted to know daily, because I was in some very, very tough areas that we weren't supposed to be in. Everybody had left. Delta and SEAL Team 6 had left, right? All the other SEAL teams, everybody had left this area. And it was me, one other security guy protecting, 4 different case officers and the chief of station in Yemen, right? So now Yemen has basically, as we've seen, has deteriorated to a great extent. But at one time, it was very, very dangerous there. So they wanted me to report every day. I called, I gave them, basically an overview, but they were, it was like nonstop. It was the deep state part of the CIA. They wanted to be so informed. And at this point, I was starting to distrust, right, portions of the CIA. So I was very sketchy on what I was telling them. Of course, eventually, the base that I was at, because every base that I went to that was like that, it was me, one other person, and they're like, we're going to send you this base, but no one's supposed to, be there. Everyone else has left. I would go there, and it would turn around magically, and they would become very active bases, and we started taking down a lot of enemy combatants, terrorists, and so forth. But they wanted to know way too much information, and this is the same thing that I'm seeing here. So I know that there's elements I knew back then there were elements in the CIA that were playing against us, right? And being a contractor, not directly part of the CIA, I didn't have to tell them everything. I could play around their little box they're trying to put me in, right? So I thought outside the box, I played outside the box, and I was very, very effective. Now they want to put this ICE agent in control of operations in a box, right? So I'm very curious to see how he wiggles outside that box and plays this. But I guarantee you, he's probably going to play it like I did. He's going to just give them very, very basic, very nondescript information about what's going on.
I meet with her every day at 6 p.m. to go over the immigration enforcement actions of the day. She said, quote, "My role is simply to see that in the enforcement of those laws that you and your agents operating under, that you are acting in a manner that is consistent with your obligations under law," meaning that it is consistent with the Constitution. That's from our reporter, Jim Hill, in court. And Bovino sat for almost an hour on the stand, listening to the judge go over the temporary restraining order she put in place, basically restricting the use of tear gas in some cases against journalists, against the protesters that are out there protesting these CBP operations.
Now, again, we know the journalists are part of the deep state. They're part of the criminal activity that's against us. Many of them need to be put in prison as well. They need military tribunals as well, guys. We need to clean up because they're informing on us as well. On us, we the people, our activities, the people that we have chosen to go forth and take charge of our country and take down these criminal activities that are happening within our country. These incredibly, sophisticated organizations that stretch from all the way to the Vatican, all the way down into the Mexican Mafia, Venezuelan Mafia, cartels, and so forth. So we're going to see this basically. I mean, it's very easy analytical process to see that this is happening, and we're moving in that direction. So very good job on all of those that are involved. That ICE commander is probably going to play games. And listen to, okay, you can't do this, you can't do that. And in his mind, he's probably like, oh, yes, I can. And whatever you say is bullshit to me. But I'll listen because I'm taking information on you. All right. They're taking information on these people that are trying to enforce rules and regulations against them that are not lawful, guys, and that's going to get them into trouble, and it's going to see them in military tribunals and either tucked away for the rest of their lives or, you know, a nice little necklace. All right, so this is what we're going to continue to see. Now, we could give you guys a little bit insight, the untouchables, because we're looking at criminal activity. These are criminals. They're enemies of the state. Elliot Ness, you know, took down some of these people in Chicago. All right. So I'm going to, like, you know, kind of tie it into the mayor and the governor of Chicago, because they're basically, they think they're untouchable. They think they're untouchable. Right. And they're going to find out. Yeah, they're going to find out. Right. People are going to do criminal activity. Drinking is like the least of what's happening in Chicago. People are dying on a massive scale pretty much every day. Weekends, very big shootouts between probably criminal gangs fighting for, you know, territory and so forth. Cartels, criminal gangs, mafia gangs. So these criminals that are the mayor and the governor are playing blocking actions, and that one judge, a federal judge, just because he's got federal and judge in front of it doesn't make that a good person, guys. Just because it has governor in front of their name doesn't make it a good person. Just because it has mayor in front of the name doesn't make it a good person. And in fact, in all of those cases in Chicago, they are deep, deep criminals. All right. So enemies of the state, and they will be treated such. All right. So, you know, these guys think that there's nothing, and trying to present like there's nothing going on in their state. Why you're sending federal troops to the state.
Oh! Well, they're arresting that guy. Oh, back that car up. Bad idea, man. Back that car up. Oh, this is going to get bad. Oh! It's like mobs descending on our troops. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, someone's blowing stuff up. Please clear this insurrection. Look at these people. They're all masked up, getting their faces. Awful. Listen, look at them. These people are crazy. And they believe that something wrong is happening here. What's this? Oh, people are throwing stuff at the agents. That's terrible. These people should be arrested. Ooh. Look at this crowd. This is so dangerous, man. What do we got here? Oh! We can't do that.
Yeah, just a peaceful protest. Nothing to see here. All right. So this is what they say. And then we have independent journalism going on that's basically showing us different. Of course, the mainstream media, you know, just like your George Floyd riots, and I think it was Minnesota, where they were having fires burning in the background. And they had a CNN reporters, like, mostly peaceful protest while buildings burning in the background behind them. It's like, how far do they push that people won't understand or realize? All right. So the analytical process is starting to finally kick in for a lot of people. The critical thinking has been slow, but it is happening when you're subjected to all of this stupid, right? Eventually you're like, there's something wrong here. And I don't believe, you know, the narrative. I think there's really something wrong here, Martha. So that's pretty much what we're seeing. A lot of people are waking up. And they're going to continually have criminals like Pritzker come in and have their say.
And the federal government has not communicated with our state in any way whatsoever about what their troop movements are going to be. I can't believe I have to say troop movements in a city in the United States, but that is what we're talking about. We're getting no information from them. They willy-nilly run over people's rights. They're pulling people out of their houses. They're asking them for proof of citizenship because they're brown or black. That is, I mean, a country that I don't think any of us should accept, and a president we should not accept. You would.
So anyone not doing critical thinking would listen to that, and they would leftist Democrat brainwashed. Right? They're going to look at that and go, "Yeah, Trump bad man, and ICE is bad. They should be stopped. We should protest with all the other people." And then those protests turn into riots and throwing things at federal agents and driving cars up on them and getting out and shooting at them. In Dallas, they shot federal agent, hit him in the throat. Fortunately, it wasn't life-threatening, but still, we have the violence is escalating on their side, so it has to be met. It hasn't gone back to the other side yet, but at some point, perhaps it will, and they will use that. So I'm very, very thankful that these agents are extremely well trained, obviously, to the point where they can actually have shots fired at them and still maintain a semblance of control and methodology when coming at these deranged people. Right? Absolutely deranged, paid to be deranged, many of them. But still, we're seeing some of them are actually, very, very bad people. All right. And then you have Governor Pritzker, just like you saw the Mafia Don there and the Untouchables, think he's above the law. And so here he is, talking like he's above the law again.
Need to put you in jail. I don't know anyone that covers Trump that views him as someone with a sense of humor. So he's saying it. It's obviously on the table for him. And I wonder if you've thought that through, if you have a plan, if you know what would happen if he came to arrest you.
A plan. Look, I have said, very explicitly, come get me, because he's got no reason. There's no probable cause. There's nothing. He is literally just threatening people that are his political opponents. And you've heard him do that writ large against Democrats, calling us, essentially terrorists, and saying that the Democrats are Antifa, and again, no one's really defined what that is. It's just some.
So again, if you're not informed and you hear a puppet mouth like that, spew stupid, then you're probably going to believe it. So that's part of the problem for some people, but less and less people. So there's probably in Chicago, I would say the majority of people want this bullshit to stop. All right. And when their voices get heard more and more and more, then it probably will. It probably will. So we need to hear from the people of Chicago. We have been hearing from them. Independent journalists and so forth have been actually, canvassing the people of Chicago. They've been having a voice, but more and more we're going to see people step up and get involved. So this is the only way that we beat this down. All right. So now we could use it like like the Untouchables. If you get out of line in the Democrat Party and the leftist, this is what can happen. So that's a home run for the leftist, right? So that's usually how the leftists basically deal with the people. We've seen so many people that have committed suicide, suicided themselves after they say that I don't intend to suicide myself, but if I do, it's them. The people that have turned and have given up information. Then, of course, you get people that see that are within this mafia group, believing at one time that it was a very good, thing to be involved with these people, and now they're like, "Ooh, if I get out of line, I'm gonna get the slugfest, right? I'm gonna get the slugfest. I'm gonna get the necktie, or I'm gonna, hanging from, my wife and kids are gonna go out to, get something at the local store, and they're gonna come back, and somebody's gonna be hanging around because they got out of line." That's the way these guys operate. So it's probably going to get to the point where you're going to have military tribunals, guys. These guys aren't going to do the right thing. They're under threat from their groups, Mafia. I talked to this one lovely woman that's, was from New York, and she grew up there as a young kid, and her family, there was connections, people married into the Mafia. And when you marry into the Mafia, you're part of the Mafia. All right. So we've seen that with Nancy Pelosi and Gavin Newsom. Right. So you marry into the mob, you're part of the mob. Right. So I'll bring that up in a minute. But here we have, a lot of these people are interrelated. They intermarry. They're all part of a big mafia group, guys. And deep state. We call them deep state, mafia, whatever we want to call them. They're enemies of the state. They're enemies of America, and they'll be dealt with by military tribunals. All right. So if you look at, these things and you talk to lots of people like I have, this one lovely woman was telling me how, as a kid, their family, group of them, kids and all, went to this restaurant in New York, and it was, or New Jersey, one of those areas. All right. And New Jersey, New York, mob. So all part of the same. And so she's like, and it was during the week, it was very unusual that we would be going to this, on the weekends we would go out and we'd do dinners together and so forth. But this was during the week. And so they went to this restaurant. Everything was normal. They went home. The next day, I guess a good family, because the Mafia, some Mafia anyway, they have rules. And some of those rules are like, you don't kill kids. All right. So we know that's not the way a lot of these Mafia groups work. They're all about trafficking children now. All right. So back then, 50, 60 years ago, this was the rule. You didn't go out over these lines. Right. So evidently a family maybe was supposed to go there that didn't show up to protect some groups that were there. So another rival mob came in and shot the place up. Right. And it was a bloodbath. So we're seeing the same thing happening in Chicago streets. And at some point, it's going to flip. It's going to flip, and it's going to start to go into those families, guys, because these families are going to have to be killed, because eventually, if they get to a military tribunal, they'll talk and they'll give up information, and that'll lead to other people that need to come into the military tribunals. So they'll kill. They're going to start to kill. And I think they've already been killing on a grand scale. So these killings will continue, and they'll get more ruthless as we move forward. Because like I said, it doesn't take an analytical genius to figure out that this is moving in a direction where the military tribunals are about to come in, right? So other things, let's keep moving. Nancy Pelosi, another another criminal family. Her daddy was part of Baltimore. He was a Baltimore mayor for many years when heroin first became very prominent. And so remember that bat scene? These guys, these good fellas and good fellerinas, whatever, are very, very nasty. And watch how Nancy Pelosi reacts to, she looks like a little mafia girl.
Finding you liable for that day? Why did you refuse the National Guard on January 6th?
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
The American people want to know.
All righty. So this is the way these people feel. She's not their journalist. They own the journalist, guys. The journalists are part of the criminal crime families, right? They need to be dealt with by military tribunals as well. So you're going to see that happen, but you see people like me independent journalist that comes in. They don't want this to get out. They do not want this to get out. Right? And so will there be pushback on that young lady that came after little Mafia Don girl? I don't know. So look at all of the different, Gavin Newsom and, gosh, so many in Mafia, California. Now, I was just at Muscle Beach doing a workout. Dream come true. Got to work out with this amazing guy named Mike, 6'9". He's from Austria, from the same area where Arnold Schwarzenegger knows Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I was at the Muscle Beach, workout gym on the beach. And I got to do a nice workout. Really was good for me. I've never had anybody train me before, other than when I was in SEAL teams. Of course, I got trained in SEAL teams, and I was a trainer, and I've always trained myself. But it was great to get that shock the monkey little workout into 2 hours. And Ike was like, usually people only last half this time. And I was like, had my Navy SEAL cap on. So I was a Navy SEAL. But, my body doesn't look like a Navy SEAL anymore. But, it's under the surface. It's hidden. Right? So, since COVID came out and I couldn't work out, and it's been a hard road to get it back again. So need a little shock to monkey. I got a little shock to monkey, but that was great. So I heard and I saw that people aren't getting in the water. Right. So, up and down the beach, you're talking like the most beautiful beachfront area in the world. People don't go in the water. Why? Because they came in directed energy weapons and burned many cities, right? And that burned area, which is basically highly toxic, as we found out, and is also radioactive, as we know, from huge microwave energy, it releases radioactivity, right? So that is washing into the water. They buried a lot of it, but you get some rains and that washes through that stuff. People don't go in the water, right? So Californians are smart about that. But if I was looking at all these Californians on the beach and walking through the streets and so forth, I was like, if these people for one day got together and said, enough of these criminal assholes, and marched on the state capitol and said, you're out, and we'll be here until you're out, it would be over. And then they put somebody in there. They could select somebody good, put them in there. All of California would turn around overnight. But the people of California have been conditioned, right? They've been conditioned by dozens of years of basically, we got these beaches for you. The climate's perfect. Just go and have a good time. And we got these concerts, and we got the Hollywood and all this stuff to brainwash you. And don't worry, everything's going to be fine, right? Everything's going to be fine. So this is what happens when you allow criminals into your governorship. In your mayorships throughout California, you're going to get extreme problems, guys. How extreme can you get with California burning like it just recently did? And California's been burning over and over again. Paradise, Malibu, all these different burn activities have been happening over the years. And then a massive burn. But still no one's, acting out. No one's, pushing back.
Angeles, California Governor Gavin Newsom appears to dance while talking about land grabs.
I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii. You had some ideas around some.
So Hawaii, where they had another directed energy weapon attack in Lahaina, and they have been suppressing people rebuilding, getting back their land. A lot of people were killed, not reported. Children missing, not reported. So here's Gavin Newsom. He's real happy about this burn.
use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward. And
Now, it seems incredibly insensitive, but it might be just because he's a weird guy when you actually pay attention. So we could sit back and make.
All right. So Gavin Newsom, I call him a vampire. Right? He looks like a vampire to me. That's my thoughts on him. So he's a bloodsucker. And he's related to Nancy Pelosi. Right? So Nancy Pelosi. So I'll work my way to Nancy Pelosi. But before I do, let's look at, military tribunals. A military tribunal is a court designed to try members of the armed forces and enemy combatants, like these governors and mayors and heads of the FBI, like James Comey, on and on and on, separate from civilian courts, which are slow and obviously compromised. The rules and procedures for military tribunals differ from civilian courts and are governed by military law, such as the Uniform Code of Military Justice, the UCMJ, in the United States. These tribunals can handle both military-specific offenses like desertion and conventional crimes, and can include different types of proceedings, such as courts-martial for service members and military commissions for non-citizens deemed enemy combatants. So these people are enemy combatants of the United States. They need to be tried by military tribunals. It's coming, right? And they know it's coming, and they're going to resist all the way to the end. Nancy Pelosi's father was Thomas D'Alessandro Jr., who served as the mayor of Baltimore from 1947 to 1959. And before his time as mayor, he was a U.S. congressman representing Maryland. Here, he held the office of mayor for 3 terms. What happened during that time frame? Well, let's look at that. You would think that someone that is in that position would look after his people, wouldn't you? You would think that, right? Because that's what they're pretty much tasked by the people of the state to do when they elect them. So in Baltimore, the rise of heroin use dates back to the mid-20th century and has gone through several distinct phases. So mid-20th century, 1949 and 1959 time frame, where Alessandro Jr., the father, the criminal father, Mafia father of Nancy Pelosi, shut up Nancy Pelosi, all right, was basically there. So illicit drug market boomed. While the city has a long history of heroin addiction, its crisis has since evolved and now dominated by the much more potent synthetic opioid fentanyl. How Baltimore became the U.S. overdose capital of the United States, January 10th, 2025. Why Baltimore experiencing more drug overdose? History of addiction challenges in Baltimore. These things can be fixed overnight, guys. They can be fixed overnight. These people need help, and they don't want them to have help because they're profiting off of this, right? So mid-20th century, 1950s, 1960s, when your Nancy Pelosi father was there, heroin first became a dominant force while he was mayor. Hello, all right? The issue took hold particularly in predominantly Black urban neighborhoods that were struggling with a post-industrial economy and deep-seated racial inequalities. So then a crack cocaine epidemic intensified Baltimore's existing addiction crisis. That also happened in LA, where crack cocaine came in, came from down south, and the CIA was involved in it. We've already, seen movies on that. Early 2000s, the crisis was compounded by the rise of prescription opioids like Oxycontin 2010s are present. Fentanyl, a synthetic opioid, 50 to 100 times more potent. So now we're having more people die of fentanyl than died in several wars. I think for the entire time of Vietnam, the deaths, we're having those deaths every year now and rising in the United States. So these criminals are doing this, guys. So Gavin Newsom and Nancy Pelosi are not directly related by blood, but they are connected through a past marriage. Remember what I said about marriage in the mafia groups. You marry into the mob, you are now part of the mob. Newsom's aunt, Barbara Newsom, was married to Ron Pelosi, who is Nancy Pelosi's brother-in-law. Therefore, Nancy Pelosi is related to Newsom by marriage, making her like and by marriage to him. All right. Keep it in the family, right? And the mob. Keep it in the mob family. So it's a mess out there, guys. California, you guys need to rise up, right? So let's look at Georgia. That'll be the last place we look at. So Donald Trump's endorsement is powerful but limited in Georgia poll finds. So he has basically gone on and has started to endorse in Georgia because he's had lots of problems with Kemp and Rafsanjani. Both those guys are very, very bad people. And so it'll not. Burt Jones. So Georgia looks like a really good guy. I've read up on him. I remember seeing him at an event where he spoke. He's very articulate. I think he would be a great governor for Georgia. Burt Jones received the endorsement he was hoping for in his 2026 run for governor, that of President Donald Trump. So Burt Jones for governor has my complete and total endorsement. He will never let you down, Trump posted on Truth Social platform Monday evening. Now let's look at Kemp and Rafsenberger. All right, both these guys, I reported on these guys long time ago, years and years ago. All right, I said that both of them, and there were articles about it, I can't find them now. How about that? Where they were being funded by the Chinese in their runs for governorship, and what is Raffensperger? He's the Secretary of State. All right, so the people do not like either one of those monkey boys. Right? They are bad. They're as bad as you can get. And Georgia, unfortunately, has had a lot of badness over the years. But these two boys are some of the baddest they've had in history, I think. So this is what the people of Georgia thought about them.
What do you make of that, Congress?
So that was Brian Kemp and Governor Brian Kemp and Rafsenberger were both booed because the people of Georgia thought that they should have backed President Trump when he was trying to get the 2020 election fraud, revealed and overturned. And there was massive, obvious video on throughout media of cheating that went on in Georgia. Remember the one where they ran everybody out of the one voting tabulation place because they said there was flooding. There was no flooding, but they run everybody out, and then they started pulling out boxes and they started running ballots through multiple times to get Joe Biden elected in Georgia. And they kept doing that for a period of time until there was no other. They knew there was no other Trump votes out there, and then they're like, yep, Biden won by 2 votes or whatever it was. It was not much, but this is the thing that happened, and Trump kept begging them pretty much, please, get behind me when I'm trying to reveal, that your state was. And why don't you think they did? Probably because they're part of the mafia, guys. They're either part of the mafia or they would get that. I think what happened with Kemp, his daughter was dating a young man, and he had a very horrific, very suspect vehicle accident. And that was basically a warning to him that next time it'll be your daughter and then maybe you and so forth. This is the way the mafia works, guys. So he's, whether he wants to be or not, he's now part of the mafia, right? He's not there by marriage like Nancy Pelosi and Gavin Newsom or all these other mafia criminals that are out there, but he is definitely there by other means, right? They have their ways, right? So if you're not, if you don't have somebody to back you, if you're not clever, if you can't see, if you go into, probably both of these knuckleheads went into Georgia politics, knowing they were corrupted, did some corrupted things, and then they were owned. All right. So now that you're owned, if you don't do what they say, they start killing people around you, or they have accidents, and that's very tragic. That's very frustrating, right? So this has happened to many of us in this truther movement. It's very frustrating, but what do we have? What else do I have? If I stop, I'm dead. If I keep going, maybe I'm dead, all right? So the only way that I win, the only way that I stay alive and my family stays alive is if we take them down. So I have to keep going, all right? Many of us have to keep going. And I'm very happy to do that, actually. I've served my country in many capacities and humanity. Because when I go overseas, I'm helping other countries. So I'm a worldly guy, you know. So exposing this stuff, bringing down this mafia criminal organization throughout America is very, very needed. Right? We can't exist as a country going forward because they're almost got to a point where they completely control us. And this leftist Democrat Party has got to go away because they were ruthless and still are in trying to control us and manipulate us. Remember how many of us for years we were kept off social media, lost our YouTube channels while we're trying to inform everybody, keep as many people alive as we could during the COVID lie, right? The vaccination lie. And now we're seeing that people are waking up to all that. So here we are. We have another one, Fani. All right. I call her Fanny. So you can call her Fani. If she wants to be called Fani, that's fine. But I'm going to call her Fanny. All right. Because she's got a biggie. She's got a biggie Fanny. All right. So I'm not playing with these people. Right. These people are absolute evil, and they don't need any kind of accommodation for being nice to them. They don't need to have any accolades. They are evil. They need to be behind bars or something else. Fulton County DA Fani Willis to appear before Senate. Fani Willis removed from Trump election case after Georgia Supreme Court basically said, you're disqualified because you are baddie, right? So she's a baddie. She is part of the criminal activity, guys. And she went after President Trump and many people that were part of President Trump's team and criminal charges against them. Remember, President Trump had the mug shot, right? The famous mug shot, all right? That just helped his cause, really. And that was I think that was more of a turning point. Yeah, Matt, we can just call her ass, right? Fanny, no, we'll just call you ass, all right? Like jackass. So we have her. She's going down. The criminal activities coming after her. We also have, of course, James Comey, total mafia guy. He found I talked to this woman and her husband today. They were close. I'm not going to say their names or where they were, but they're close to where James Comey was walking on the beach and found that 86 Trump type thing, 86-45. Remember, which is basically kill 45 or 47 or whatever it was. All right. So this boy is a bad boy. He needs to go bye-bye. He doesn't need prison time. He needs something else, right? Former DOJ officials say Comey case is vindictive. This is the Washington Post. So call for dismissal. I'm not going to say the Washington Post is bad. I think the Washington Post is pretty good, but you're going to see a lot of this stuff being put out there, guys. They're fighting on all fronts like they did before to keep this guy out of prison and something else, right? Trump's bypass move on Comey, James prosecutor could derail cases. Opinion. There's a reason Trump reminds his targets of a mafia don, because they're mafia and they know that, and they want to like sling that mud back at Trump and see if it sticks, right? That's the way they do. That's the way they operate. So very, very bad people. So Letitia James, part of money laundering schemes that they do with mortgages. We've had people on that have talked about that. I can tell you that's gone all the way to the top of the Justice Department, guys. And that's moving very, very quickly. A lot of people being disclosed. The legs, or the octopus legs that extend out. There's like you need 500 octopus legs. There's so many legs that go out to all these states, all these district attorneys, media personalities, all of them influenced by money laundering schemes with mortgage fraud. So Letitia James, of course, is involved in that. Adam Shifty Shipped involved in that. So we're going to see more of this get disclosed. So we're just seeing the opening salvos against these criminals. And at some point soon, I believe, we're going to see the military tribunals come in and really start to whack these people. All right. Whack-a-mole. It's coming. So Alvin Bragg. So remember, Alvin Bragg was the only district attorney, of course, in Manhattan, New York, where President Trump grew up. His family was from there. He had to leave New York, right? Go down to Florida. So it's pretty crazy. He wasn't safe down there. Of course, the FBI went and raided his home down in Mar-a-Lago. So he survived all that, and now he's back. Now, is he vindictive? No, he just wants justice, right? That's all I want. I'm not vindictive against any of these people. I just want justice. But I know justice is basically going to put them behind bars for the rest of their lives, or nice little necktie, right? Or maybe they'll decide maybe they like a pow-pow, right? So I don't know. We'll see. All right. Maybe all of them get all of it. Put them behind bars for a while, hang them, then shoot them. I don't know. So, God, they deserve it. Absolutely deserve it. So let's look at Alvin Bragg. He's a bad boy. I think that he's probably going to be the next in line. All right. So Trump files powerhouse appeal in politically charged Manhattan district. So there's that moose face. Alvin Bragg, basically, I'll use Trump's technique against these people. You know how he names them, like I'll call Fanny ass, right? And we'll call him moose face. All right, so moose face basically is probably going to have some problems now. Trump appeals historic Manhattan hush money conviction. So I promise you, there's dirt on Bragg. All these people have dirt on them. That's how they're controlled. All of them. All right. They're involved in dirty shit. And they're also, manipulated by their dirt. And Alvin Bragg has something hanging over his head. I promise you. And so at some point, now that President Trump is coming after him, Trump argues his hush money conviction was fatally marred, right? Fatally marred. So what is coming? What's coming? Alvin Bragg, next one, going to be indicted at some point? I think so. And if not, then they're basically going to destroy the case that he had, which should have never have happened. Totally ridiculous to begin with, against President Trump, and the only one that convicted him, right? All right, so that's all I got for now. Silver is in a buying opportunity, right? Gold is in a buying opportunity. I believe the stock market's going higher. You guys know that I said there's a possibility we'll see a pullback in the stock market, and then it will go to new all-time highs, and it will be like 1999. Remember that Prince song? Party like it's 1999. Well, we're going to be partying like it's 2025 because the stock market, I think, during this winter, November, December, it's going to go big because that's what it did in 1999. So the winter before that, Christmas before that, so Christmas, boom, probably going into the new year. So you guys that think you're going to like keep making money on the stock market, you probably still make some money. Crypto may make another big boom, may go to new highs. I know you guys that are like, hodling some of these crypto coins, maybe that'll work out for you. But guys, you're going to get spanked if you hodl that stuff too long, right? I would say on this next big boom into probably the new year, maybe a little bit longer before this thing collapses, because it will collapse. Everything is pointing 1929, guys, and bigger than 1929, right? Bigger than 2008, bigger than you name the stock market crash, it's coming, right? So that's what we're going to see. Silver and gold will be right now. They're super buying opportunities. You need to be in them. If you're not in them, because they're going to go up too. In this next super wave higher for everything goes up, all right? Then it'll not everything, because housing's crashing. People are getting laid off in massive numbers. That's why tomorrow you will see yo ho ho, pirate's life for me. The Federal Reserve, the pirates, will basically come in and cut rates because they'll say, well, we have a lot of people losing jobs. And that's usually what happens before a big downturn. It happened in the last one, the dot-com bust, and all the busts before that. Companies basically start trimming the fat, and that fat is what makes them healthy, makes their businesses grow. So in the last stages, they start to cut their people, and that makes them more profitable. They'll come out and say, yes, we're more profitable. Look, we're more profitable. We said this. We said we're going to go up this much, and we went up this much. And so everybody's going like, yay, pump the money at them, pump the money at them, pump the money at them. It's going higher. It's going higher, higher, higher. And at some point, it goes down. Now, when it goes down, you're probably going to see anywhere from 30 to 50% crash. Then it'll pop up, and people that, didn't get out or got out while it was going down, now they're like, oh, I shouldn't have got out. And they'll get back in, and it'll go up a little bit, like 10, 20% or something. And then it'll go down, and it'll go down, and it'll stay down for years and years and years and decades and decades. And a lot of you guys that are in, hodling on some of these stocks like Nvidia and Apple, and which reached, I think it's like one of the most profitable in history, $4 trillion. What am I saying? $4 trillion. All the stock market hit new highs today. The Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Russell index, all of them hit highs today. brand new all-time highs, right? And you just had brand new all-time highs just about a week ago for gold and silver, and they pulled back, which is normal and natural and very good for silver and gold, and sets up for buying opportunity. But hey, why not go dump your money in crypto and the stock market and see how that works for you, right? Gold and silver will probably outpace them like they have all year, right? So they're silver is up like 87%, something crazy. Gold is up like 76 or something. So both of those are going to, now in this pullback buying opportunity, after this, they're going to go big, right? And when the stock market crashes, they will pull back, and then they will go, and they will go and go and go, just like they have in every other crash in history, right? We can go back to ancient times when civilizations failed. Everybody ran to silver and gold, right? So at some point, we'll get the gold-silver ratio down to 15, maybe 10 to 1, 10 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. Wow, that would be spectacular, right? So especially when you're going to see silver and gold continue to go up together. But silver goes up the most, the fastest, and then eventually we roll over to gold, and gold goes to the moon, all right? Or to Jupiter, because silver is going to Venus this year or next year, all right? And gold, I guess, it's got to go higher at some point, so it's going to Jupiter, right? Or wherever. One of those planets out there. Take your pick. Not Saturn. So Saturn's a bad planet. So that's where we're going to see things go, guys. It is absolutely going to happen, and we'll see some amazing things with taking down the deep state, the mafia that's running the United States, these governorships, military tribunals coming in for them soon. It's a very exciting time, and consciousness continues to go up. Crazy things are going to happen with our planet, like we've been seeing. So even the planet grows. So the planet's expanding. Our consciousness is expanding. If you're intuitive, which if you're not, that's not a good thing. But if you're intuitive, or if you have a little bit of, it starts with the gut, that gut feeling, because a lot of people don't understand that in your gut are lots of neurons. It's a second brain. So some people just get that gut feeling. That's good. That's baby level. That's baby level of intuition, right? And then when you get that heart, something doesn't feel right, And then when you get the master connection, which is the pineal gland, which is your antenna to God source or the angelic realm, and your love vibration, and the connection to the brain, then the very intuitive side of your brain, left side of your brain, and the pineal gland. If it's clean, if it's not clean, it ain't going to help you, right? So if you get that antenna effect happening, and you got the love vibration happening for you, that's the ultimate. You're going to get some good stuff happen to you. You're going to make amazing things happen in the future. All right. That's all I got. I see some of you are like getting bored with this conversation and you're starting to click off. So, all right. Lots of love, guys. Stay in the love vibration, and I'll see you guys next time.